القبلة.
حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر
الله أكبر.
لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وحبيبه قد بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح للأمة وكشف الله به الغمة فتركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك ثم أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters, dear students, this morning, I came to school and actually I noticed something. It seemed that I was too busy to realize the calendar, but unfortunately, and I'm so sorry to say that, it's the Islamic calendar. Just today, this morning, I have been told we are remembering the day of Israa and Al-Mi'raj. I admit my fault in front of you, but I started just thinking, are we all the same? We are remembering everything except what is related to the most precious thing to us, which is our religion. It's a very important event in the Muslim's life. And actually, I have much responsibility to lead you and to guide you to know and to study and to review such important events for our nation. So I don't say I'm celebrating it, but it's a chance to remember, and it's a chance for us, all of us, to learn. We are remembering this great event in the history of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and in our history. So this is why I felt guilty. We shouldn't really forget about that. But it seems that, as I said, we are getting interested of everything, I'm afraid to say, except what is related to our religion. But one of the things I learned here in the United States is a good saying, it's never too late. And alhamdulillah, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I have some friends who reminded me of this. Imagine that I'm not living in this environment. No one was gonna remind me, no one was gonna tell me about this. Am I gonna continue my life knowing nothing and remember nothing such or that can be very important like this? But alhamdulillah, I found there was a good chance to talk to you today. in this khutbah about this. I still have about 15 or 20 minutes to talk. We don't have too much time to talk actually. But I would like to know the journey of Al-Isra and Al-Mi'raj. It's in Arabic word. And Al-Isra, it refers to the journey by land from Mecca to Palestine. Where, you know what's there in Palestine? Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. So, and what's there in Mecca, in Saudi Arabia nowadays? It's Al-Kaaba. So, this journey between the two places called Al-Isra in this event. And Al-Mi'raj is another journey, but it's another completely different journey. It's from the land to the heaven. And it happened only to our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So, the meaning is known for us. It's a journey between two cities and another journey between the land and the sky. But what happened? What do we need to learn from this journey? I would like to start with the reason of this journey that we are expecting, or we are trying to find the reason why the Prophet ﷺ was taken to have these two journeys. I remind you of the year when it happened, or when it happened. It was called in Arabic Aam al-Huzn. It's the year, not the day, not the week. Remember that, girls and boys? It's not the day or week, it's the year of grief. You know why? But there were many very sad incidents that happened to the Prophet ﷺ. You know, he was struggling with the pagans, the people of Quraysh, to just let them know about Islam. He never forced any one of them to accept Islam. Just to let him tell them about Islam, about him as a prophet. That's what he needed to do, just that. But they didn't let him. They didn't allow him. They fought him and his companions. They tortured the Muslims. With all these going on, he lost two great supporters. Two great supporters. The only defenders. The two pillars who were defending him. The first was his uncle Abu Talib. And I like my students to know he was not a Muslim, but he was protecting his nephew at that time to preach his message. And the second one, and I would like to remind the girls at the back, the second or first, one of the two big supporters for the Prophet, she was a lady. She was his wife. So that reflects also the role of ladies in Islam, the role of our moms, of our daughters, wives. How can they help? She was Khadija radiallahu anha, the best supporter for the Prophet at that time. And she was a lady. She didn't say, I can't do anything for him. He's a man, he can do. No, she took her responsibility better than anyone can imagine. At that time, this is why we called it the year of grief. What happened? And this is what I need us to remember and learn. Allah gave His Prophet this reward. It was a journey, but it was the biggest reward at that time. He gave him a chance and the opportunity to discover new horizons of this world, of his own soul. And one of the best rewards that happened is that he was ascending to the heaven to meet his Lord. He reached the place, Sidratul Muntaha, This place Sidratul Muntaha, no one has ever reached it. Even the angels, the Prophet ﷺ reached that place. Took him to his Lord, took him to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Should be proud of our Prophet. And we should learn how to try to follow him, to join him, follow his steps, to reach this great status with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To have this communication with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He can grant us something like this. But I need you to learn, and I remind myself first, that makes me feel when I am sad, when something bad happens to me, I still remember this incident. I also believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cares about us. This is exactly the same. This is the thing that we needed to learn. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cares about His prophets. He didn't leave him alone. But His Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did his best. He did what all he can do just to convey his message to the people. He went to Attar. His tribe, his family, in Mecca rejected him, rejected his message, fought him, tortured his companions. He didn't stop. He didn't give up. What did he do? He tried to think about another area where he can find people to accept this message. He went to Attar, and they were actually not better, but they were worse. And then they made and sent their kids to throw the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with stones until his feet started bleeding. But he sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't give up, and he gave this sentence that I will always, and I have been always remembering it. Allahumma in lam yakun bika alayya ghadabun fala ubali. He didn't say, oh, I did all my best, no way to succeed with those people, I'm gonna give up, why do I do that? No. He was reflecting on himself, and he said, he raised his hand, he was crying, asking, supplicating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, all my concern is that, and all my prayers is that you may not be angry at me. And because of this, all of these bad things happen to me. This is what he cares about. Is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't like what he did? He was afraid about this. The only thing he was afraid about. Did Allah accept his efforts, his deeds? إِن لَمْ يَكُنْ بِكَ عَلَيَّ غَضَبٌ فَلَا أُبَالِي. I don't care. I don't care about what may happen to me, whatever it is. Since you are not mad, you are not angry at me. This is what we need to learn. When we have difficult situations, how to reflect upon ourselves, how to think about the communication between us and our Lord. Do we really try to make this good connection between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so He is gonna grant us closer to Him? This is the Prophet in us, and we are living from Him. And it doesn't mean, as I said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is gonna leave him suffer and suffer and suffer. No. He gives him his reward. And this is what I need to say. Allah cares about us. We are always under Allah's protection and care. Otherwise, we will get lost in the dunya and in the hereafter. So this is my first lesson. I need to know, and I need to let you know about it. Think, my dear students, Allah is caring about us. Just think about one thing. Do you push? Do you do what you should do? That's it. Do you really have good connection with Allah? That's it. All the results is gonna come, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is really caring, and He is the most knowing, He is the most merciful. We have many lessons when we remember this event to learn, to lead us in our life. The next lesson I would like to discuss with you is very important. This was a reward for the Prophet, but the journey itself was a test to the Muslims, to the believer. Imagine, go back with me, 1400 years ago, those people who knows nothing about planes, about space, they just know about the camels, the horses, and the desert. Even they didn't get closer to the sea. And all of a sudden, you have a person among them coming to tell them, oh my friends, I went on a journey. I traveled this night to Palestine. He moved from Mecca to Palestine at night and he came back at night. Not only that, he left from earth to the sky. Okay, leave this. But this is not about the first journey. It's a test. He has his own followers. And he has the people, his enemies, who are waiting for something like this to make his followers doubted their model, their role model, their prophet, their life. It was the best chance for the disbelievers. Oh, they didn't believe. They used to go in this journey to reach Palestine in a month and they come back in another month. So how can you tell us you just went in a night and you came back during the night? They took the story and they tried to use it against the prophet, and they went to his followers and they focused on the best friend. They intended to make Abu Bakr that his friend, his most loyal friend. And he said to him, oh Abu Bakr, sarcastic of course, have you heard what your friend is saying? He said, what? What did he say? He said to him, he is telling us he moved to Al-Masjid al-Aqsa and they came back this night. It was their golden chance to make that man doubt his friends. To make Abu Bakr say, oh really? I'm not gonna follow this prophet. Really? I'm gonna leave Islam. And by the way, it happened with others at the same time. Some of the new followers left Islam at that time. So don't say it's something not easy for the people who accompany the prophet. No, some already left Islam. And I was still thinking about Abu Bakr when he answered them. He gave a marvelous answer. When I stood many times with Abu Bakr, he said, I realized something great. He asked them, did he say? He said, yes. He said, then he said the truth. When I was reading this in Arabic, Awaqat Khan, it makes you feel that you doubt what you hear. Because logically, it cannot be accepted. Now, we're thinking about the rockets and the planes, we may imagine. No, at that time I said in the beginning, they know nothing about camels, horses, and the desert. But Abu Bakr, with his strong belief, with his strong loyalty to his friend, said, I don't doubt. I doubt one thing. Did he say? He confirmed yes. So it's the truth. That means, logically, really no, it cannot be believed. But when they told him, they confirmed that the prophet said that, he said, then it's the proof. And he looked at him as if they were going to say, are you crazy? He was a great trader at that time, and he used to travel everywhere for his trade. Are you crazy? Are you really believing him? he gave a marvelous answer, and he said, I believe him in more than this. He tells me that he receives al-wahy, the revelation, is descending upon him from the heaven. Do you need me now to believe him in a journey? What's bigger? What's more incredible? I believe him. Jibreel descends with the Quran for him. Allah sent the Quran to him. I believe him in that. You need me not to believe him for a journey? How do you think about that? This is what we need to learn. The second lesson for today, from this journey, we need to have this strong belief in Allah and His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whatever He said, since it's authenticated, He said, we have to have a strong belief in that. This is very important. There are many lessons we need to learn and we need to stop at. I will finish with the second khutbah, inshallah. وأقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله فادعوه إنه هو البر الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى. الحمد لله رب العالمين الذي بنعمته تتم الصالحات والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين ثم أما بعد. I would like to end this with something to remind our kids, our new generation about. The question is, the Prophet ﷺ went in this journey al-Mi'raj from al-Masjid al-Aqsa, not from Mecca. Is that right? So, why wasn't that? It could happen if Allah wills, of course, there. But I need to learn and I need to remind my students about this. This reflects how important is this place to us, Al-Masjid al-Aqsa. Do we know it? Do we remember it? Do we know this place in Palestine now? And it has this mosque where the Prophet ﷺ is starting his journey from to the heaven. I think if there is something to learn, there is something very strong to tell us this place is so important to us. If we add what has been already done or known about it, which it was our Qibla before facing Al-Kaaba. We need to know that. And Masjid al-Aqsa is the first Qibla when Muslims started their prayers. Many lessons we can stop at and learn from. And let these lessons guide our life. This is Al-Isra and Al-Mi'raj, the two journeys. We have to stop. Many things happened. The Prophet led all the prophets or the previous prophets for prayers in the same place. We need to learn. Why did he take the lead? Moses, Jesus, and all the prophets were behind him. He was the leader. He was the leader. Does it mean that we should take our role to lead the world for fairness, for justice, for equity, for freedom? Did we understand something from this? During this journey, we have a very important event happening. The journey, and at that day, the Prophet received the command to pray in the same way we are praying now. We are praying now. Is it a lesson to learn? How important is this pillar of Islam? This is the pillar that has been dictated to the Prophet from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly in this journey. Many lessons. We have to stop. We have to read. We have to learn. And we have to apply what we learn in our real life. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها نياتنا، اللهم أصلح أعمالنا وأصلح نياتنا، اللهم أصلح أزواجنا وذرياتنا وأصلحنا لهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم اهدنا جميعا واهد أمتنا إلى ما فيه الخير والرشاد. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. وقوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله. استووا اعتدلوا. Straighten your lines. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. وآتينا موسى الكتاب وجعلناه هدى لبني إسرائيل ألا تتخذوا من دوني وكيلا ذرية من حملنا مع نوح إنه كان عبدا شكورا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك أمرا فإذا جاء وعد أولاهما بعثنا عليكم عبادا لنا أولي بأس شديد فجاسوا خلال الديار وكان وعدا مفعولا ثم رددنا لكم الكرة عليهم وأمددناكم بأموال وبنين وجعلناكم أكثر نفيرا الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله
Subhanallah 33. Alhamdulillah 33. Face the Qibla. Allahu Akbar 33. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. Recite Ayat al-Kursi. To finish, stand to pray Sunnah after. Wherever you are, stand to pray Sunnah. Firas. Girls, stand to pray Sunnah. 2 rak'ah.